In the 14th century, William of Ockham popularized the philosophical principle known as Occam's razor, saying, "Entities should not be multiplied without necessity," meaning, if you have several possible explanations for a phenomenon, pick the one with the fewest assumptions, the simplest one, which is most likely to be correct. Of course, this idea already existed before in Aristotle's principle of economy or parsimony, but that's how we know it today. And it does make a lot of sense. Take, for example, the comparison in simplicity between the Ptolemaic cosmological model of planetary orbits, which placed the Earth at the center of the universe, and the later heliocentric model. I wonder which one's correct. What? A mess. What's more likely? That every single species evolved independently with thousands of unique assumptions, or that there's a single law of natural selection that applies to all of them, or that apples falling on heads, tides, and orbits all follow hundreds of different rules, or that one universal law of gravitation explains them all. Occam's razor is, in principle, a very intuitive and useful principle. But there's a problem. Using human intuition to reach reliable conclusions works, well, not so great. Intuition is defined as the ability to understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning. And it's the instinctively part we should really think about, because our natural instinct was built purely for survival. It gave us lots of useful tools for that, but not necessarily for deeply analyzing or understanding the reality around us. See, when we were cavemen and went out exploring and saw some crushed bushes, then his companion walked ahead and was brutally devoured by some horrible beast. You can be sure he took a strong mental note of that event. The next time he saw something similar, of course, he turned around immediately. And you know what happened? He survived. And so did his children and his children's children, passing down that ability to spot dangerous patterns through generations, literally imprinted into their genes, all the way down to you. But behind those crushed bushes, there could have been either a dreadful beast or a beautiful oasis formed by a small water flow or whatever. But that, he would never know. We're excellent pattern seekers. We see them everywhere, and we instinctively take them as truth. But statistics, which is anything but intuitive, has shown us just how wrong we can be. Imagine an alien comes to Earth and goes partying. One day he drinks rum and tonic. Another day, vodka and tonic. And another, whiskey and tonic. There's only one common ingredient. Intuition says tonic is amazing. So he brings it back to his planet to party hard with his buddies.
Oh man, this sucks. I'm gonna go pee due to boredom.
The alien was working with a very small universe, not the maybe infinite one where we and the alien live, but in the statistical sense. The collection representing the total entities of interest for some question, experiment, survey, or statistical program. If he'd tried thousands of drinks instead of 4, he might still have friends on his planet. And even good statistics in small universes can throw our intuition completely off. Like the famous Monty Hall paradox. In a game show, there are 3 closed doors. Behind one is a car, and for some reason, in the original paradox, behind the other 2 are goats. You pick one door at random, a 1 in 3 chance of getting the car. Then Monty Hall, who of course knows where the car is, opens another door to show a goat and gives you the option to stay with your door or switch to the other one. You might think now it's 50-50, not realizing those 2/3 odds have shifted entirely to that single remaining door. You actually have twice the chance of winning by switching. It's much easier to understand with the same logic in a larger universe. If you have 50 cards and only one has a prize, you pick one. You've got a 1 in 50 chance of getting it right. I lift all the others except one and offer you to switch. Now that single remaining card carries 49 out of 50 chances of being the right one, compared to your 1 out of 50.
No, I'll stick with this one.
Imbecile, some more on you!
When that weird friend of yours says,
The girl I met in my commune turns out to have the same birthday as me. What a sign, it must be destiny.
Buddy, with just 24 people in a room, there's already a higher chance that 2 people share a birthday than not. If your intuition tells you the odds are 1 in 365 because it's your birthday versus everyone else's, it just shows how silly we can be. Because what we're actually looking for is the event at least 2 people share a birthday, which involves 276 pairs in this case. And not only that, it's actually easier to calculate it backwards, counterintuitively, by figuring out how many possibilities there are that no 2 people share a birthday. That gives a 53.83% chance that 2 people do share one. With 50 people, it's already 97%. So not destiny, just math.
But
Shut up. Our intuition makes us live in a fantasy world. Millions of people buy lottery tickets thinking, hey, someone wins sometimes, could be me. Listen for a second. In a standard big lottery, there are about 140 million to 1 odds of hitting the jackpot. If you don't buy a ticket, you obviously have a 0% chance of winning. So you think that by buying one, everything changes, giving you a glorious 0.000000715% chance. Imagine
Chester Copperpot
finds an umbrella on the floor in a supermarket. He takes out his phone and dial a random 8-digit number. Hi, I just found an umbrella at the supermarket and randomly dialed this number. It wouldn't happen to be yours, would it? Actually, yes. I've been looking for it all morning. I'll be right there. Mathematically, that's slightly more likely than winning the lottery. And yet you expect that to happen to you twice a week. I wonder if winning the lottery is still more likely than people actually subscribing after these reminders. That's why people who know math have an advantage. They can make sense of certain situations. Like in 1986, when the American Physical Society held its annual meeting at a hotel casino in Las Vegas. Things went so well that the casino ended up asking the APS never to host another conference there again. Imagine 4,000 physicists mentally counting cards and bankrupting the casino by sabotaging gambling itself, right? Well, none of that. They actually spent their days enjoying the buffet and the spa without even stepping into the casino, lowering the hotel's revenue so much that management didn't want them back. Because they know perfectly well how tiny the odds of winning are, and that it's better not to even try. They also know that the deeper we go into the laws that govern the universe, the less intuitive they become. Time, for example, doesn't pass the same for everyone. It's relative. How intuitive is that? Because it turns out there's no separate space and time, only space-time. It's all one thing, with a maximum possible speed. We all move through space-time at the speed of light. So if
Chester Copperpot
is waiting, not moving through the space axis, we can say he's moving at the speed of light only along the time axis. Meanwhile, the alien, moving through space at 99% of the speed of light, is stealing some of that maximum velocity from time itself. So when they finally meet, about time, I've been waiting for an hour. For me, it's only been 8.5 minutes. And it's not just velocity that dilates time. Gravity does too. GPS satellites orbit at around 20,000 kilometers above Earth. There, gravity is weaker than on the surface, which makes their clocks run 45 microseconds faster per day. But since they're moving at 14,000 kilometers per hour relative to Earth, that motion slows them down about 7 microseconds per day. If their clocks weren't automatically corrected, GPS errors would exceed 10 kilometers a day.
You have arrived at your destination.
And that's without even mentioning the madness of quantum mechanics, where anyone who claims to understand it clearly doesn't. And that's not me saying it. It's the brightest minds in science. Are particles waves or particles? Are they in multiple states at once until you measure them? Can they be entangled, breaking all known laws of physics? Does gravity have a particle? But try explaining that to an intuitive mind.
I have a belly button.
After all, intuition has been incredibly useful to us. No question about it. Patterns and simplicity have been essential for our survival. And that's great. But it's important to understand that to go deeper into the knowledge of the world around us, we have to let go of intuition. Only then can we discover and understand a fascinating new world. Bah, to hell with intuition.